What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode number 131 of Park to Prem here with Town. Today we have a big game. We are going to be taking on another team that wear the infamous black and white stripes. It's Juventus, it's the Champions League. You kind of know what it is by now. It's a big year for us, and well, you can see the group stage here. It's all very precarious, folks. It's not been great as far as the Champions League campaign has gone. And this game really does hold quite some significance in terms of, I guess, our long-term aspirations for A, making it to the knockout stages, or B, trying to get that third place spot for the Europa League, because it's very much in the air as things stand right now. But anyway, today is a bit of an unusual day today because I am up early to record this the morning before it goes live. Normally I record these in the evening, I leave them rendering overnight. Hopefully I can hand this in for my 12 o'clock deadline. It's like being a student again and submitting work right before the midnight deadline, except today I'm working towards midday. In terms of what you've missed since you were last here, we have played a decent number of games. We have played 9 in all competitions, so we're not going to cover them all. We're going to go through a few of the highlights. But the great news is we are into the EFL Cup quarter-final, and we've been drawn against Preston of the Championship. And while we've played 2 EFL Cup games, and the first of those was the game that we immediately did after the game against Manchester United. It was against Luton Town, a rotated team against lesser opposition. Douglas and Norman getting the goals. Great to see Douglas get on the score sheet. I feel like it's easy to forget he's just still at the club. He's still chilling here. He's homegrown at club. He's a player who's been here a number of years. A very good kind of emergency backup centre-back and right-back as well when he needs to be. And at 22 years old, he's still quite young. It's easy to forget, I guess, with a player like Douglas who feels like he's been around a while, that, yeah, you know, he is actually just... 22. He joined us when he was 18. Obviously, didn't have the best year last year. Hasn't made an appearance in the league yet this year. But, yeah, it brought a tear to my eye to see him back in the starting 11 and scoring. Anyway, we then moved on to a game against Birmingham. They are 20th in the league, rock bottom. We did not show any mercy in this game. Andy Eric getting us off to a flyer. Just 2 minutes gone when we took the lead in this game. And, well, just a couple of minutes later, it was Dylan Turnbull again. And he would strike a couple more times in this game with Dylan. In a game that ended up being a 4-0 win. A fantastic little result, this one. Great to see Dylan Turnbull getting on the score sheet. He has been in really good form to start this year. Between him and Shvetsov, I think they've got 19 goals. It's been crazy, actually. It's reminded me of what they used to do. You know, I didn't feel like after last year it was realistic to expect either of them to have 30-goal seasons. Right now, Dylan Turnbull and Shvetsov could both end up having 30-goal seasons. It's really been that kind of start. But yeah, great result there, and we followed it up with a not-so-great result. Taking on Sociedad, a team who I believe were 3rd seed in the Champions League group, with us at 4th seed. And away from home against them, we lost 2-0, but you can kind of see the stats in the bottom left. This is the only game all year where we failed to score and we've not won. And it was unfortunate. You know, they scored a few really good long-range shots. We had so many chances in this game, but unfortunately we didn't take them. And when you don't score, you can't win. Anyway, 2 games followed, 2 W's against the W's. Wolves and Watford. 4-1 against Wolves, Shvetsov with 2, Andy Eric with a goal, and Matasevic with another goal to add to his collection. He's got 2 goals and 2 assists now in the league, and the 22-year-old is improving a lot, which is absolutely fantastic to be able to say. That was a really good result there. And then against Watford, not quite as convincing, but 3-2 at finish. We took the lead in this game. It was 3-0 at half-time. They had a mini fight back, but we held on for the lead. And following on from that, a game against Juventus, our opposition today. This game that we played against them was at home. 2-2 it finished. A bit of a ding-dong affair. They took the lead in this game through Jadon Sancho. He made the move to Juventus for £25 million from Real Madrid in the summer. And as England manager, it kind of sucked a little bit to see him score against us. We then did fight back. Jarno Leskinen with an insane long shot. Not his trademark free kicks. This was just a thunderous effort from open play. And not long after that, an own goal went in our favour. The ball whipped in. And Biagini turning it into his own net. They scored right before half-time through Ihataren. And, well, despite Biagini, who scored the own goal, then getting sent off in the last 10 minutes of the game, there was no goals in the second half. We couldn't find the breakthrough. 2-2 it finished. Do you know what? At the end of the day, I probably would have taken that going into that match. I don't think Juventus have lost yet in the Champions League. They won their other 2 games. We held them to a draw there. And, well, in the next game, we took on Everton. They are 4th in the league. A 2-1 win A good little result in this one, especially because we were a goal down at half-time. Jack Ward putting them ahead, then Kevin Deacon and Dylan Turnbull coming up with the goods. Deacon, of course, a bit of a versatile fullback. We've had lots of issues with the fullback position. In fact, even in this game, Deacon fractured his arm, so the injury crisis, if you can call it that, continued. But we did fight back. Dylan Turnbull, near post header from a corner, ensured we got the win there. Anyway, we then took on Sheffield United in the EFL Cup, a 94th minute winner. It was a Dylan Turnbull corner again. Got us a win in that game. And then most recently, we took on Crystal Palace, a team who we couldn't beat at the end of last year. And Jackie Ogier and Shvetsov got the goals there. So, unbeaten in the league still. And we are currently running away with the league. We are in a really, really good position. I've got to give a shout out to Norwich, by the way. They are 5 points clear of Chelsea in third. Norwich are just having the best season ever. And to be honest, I am shocked at how many points the teams behind us have dropped. They are really, really struggling. And right now, we are playing the best football in the league. We've been by far and away the best team. Of course, it's a little bit too early to get carried away with things too much because only 11 games have been played and we have got some tricky games on the horizon. But I mean, right now, you can see the league table does all the talking. We've only conceded 7 goals. We've scored the most goals in the league. We've conceded the least. You can see, obviously, our form is the best. 12 games without losing now, stretching back towards the end of last season. Things have just been really, really solid. You can see we're having a decent amount of possession. We're knocking the ball around well. But to be honest, I don't really feel like we're doing much better than last year. I think it's just a case of the teams behind us are struggling a lot more. You can see in terms of the games on the horizon that I was kind of alluding to, in tomorrow's episode, we are going to do a triple header. We've got Dortmund, Liverpool and Arsenal. Now, if we can beat Liverpool and Arsenal, suddenly I will start saying we are the real deal. We should be winning the league. If we were to lose those 2 games, the whole complexion of the league changes quite quickly. And whilst it would be unlikely that we drop away from top spot, we would certainly be looking, I think, a lot more concernedly. I don't know. It'd be a more cautious look over our shoulder, I suppose, as to the teams chasing us down. Anyway, just in a little bit of squad news, I've talked about the fullback injuries. You can see here, Deacon is currently having to wear protective equipment for a fractured arm. Ruth, I believe that is how you say his name, will get there eventually. The German fullback is still out for up to 3 weeks. Mateus Aurelio has now pulled his knee ligaments and is still recovering from those. And it has meant that Ayup Gundes, can we just discuss the name Ayup? What a name this is. The young German third choice right back has actually made a few appearances in various competitions this year. He's not blown me away. But you know what? At 19 years old, he's been doing the business for us. He's not the most crazy complete wing back, but he doesn't really have a weakness in his game, which for a 19-year-old is great. And also, the fact he has the first name, Ayup, which probably isn't how you say his name, but if you don't know, in Northern England, saying Ayup is like, how are you doing? So I think we're just going to call him Ayup. I mean, I might as well, let's just do the nickname now. Why not? Sorry, Gunders. You're now called Ayup. But he's done okay for us so far. And the right-back position, obviously, a bit of a concern. Marlon Ox has had a really good season at left-back. Signed a replacement for him. He's come in after the long-term injury to Root. And he's got 4 assists in 7 league games. Oh, why are you doing this to me, Marlon? You're just making it difficult. Just making it difficult. Elsewhere in the team, you can see here, as I mentioned, Turnbull's got 9, Shvetsov's got 10. And interestingly enough, the assists have really been shared out amongst a lot of the team, which is different. I mean, it's not a bad thing by any means. You can see Maticevic with 4. Andre's not at the best of seasons, which, considering we rejected a £160 million bid, may now look like a mistake. But he's still important for us. He's got 3 league assists. And I do feel like it's quite easy to get bogged down in the average ratings of Football Manager. Sometimes you just have to remember that they are a load of rubbish. Sometimes, I mean, deep line playmakers always get good average ratings. Goalkeepers never get good average ratings, do they? Let's be honest. Like, if your goalkeeper is above a 7.0, he is the second reincarnation of Jesus. Like, it's that insane. So, yeah, I mean, Morrigan's doing very well in goal. Although, the more I look at it, the more I am sat wondering, is the goalkeeping position the long-term position to solve? That might seem mad considering the amount of clean sheets we were keeping earlier on, but as of late, the clean sheets have somewhat vanished, which, I mean, as long as we keep winning, I guess isn't the biggest of problems, but as soon as we stop winning, we may panic a little. But anyway, that's kind of what's happened over the last 8 or so games. We've done very, very well, continuing to play our best football. And this game against Juventus is quite big here. A win here would see us go joint top of the group. That would be with both Sociedad and Juventus. Dortmund right now sitting bottom of the group with only 1 point is absolutely crazy. Of course, we've got Sociedad and Dortmund still to play. So we'll hope that we can do the business here. In terms of the team selection, Deacon out with that fractured arm. His conditioning isn't good, so A-Up is going to have to play right back for us today. Ox at left back as well. So 2 German fullbacks, I've just realised. I don't know what that means, but 2 German fullbacks, everyone. Some German representation in the team, I suppose. Worth noting, Soretta, oh my word, he's improving. He's continuing to improve. He's listed as a wonder kid, but he's also, if we just mouse over here, well, okay, that's underselling him, isn't it? It did say world class not that long ago. I feel like I've been stood up there. If we just go to the Premier League and Media Dream 11, he's in the Dream 11 as is Svetsov alongside Mike Frost. I mean, that makes me very happy to see 3 of our players in the Media Dream 11. We're making progress, everyone. But yes, Soretta at 20 years old, now considered one of the best centre-backs in the Premier League. Oh, that makes me happy. That makes me very, very happy indeed. But anyway, let's get into this game against Juventus. We drew against them at home. Away from home, I do feel like it's going to be a little bit more tricky, so we'll see how we get on. You can see their team here. They've got Jadon Sancho out on the wing. He's got the most assists for them? Yes, he has. They've got Jose Mario up top. Let's have a look. He's a Brazilian international. He's not got the best of finishing for a lone striker, but 11 goals in 34 for the Brazil national team. Hatteran and Jadon Sancho also in the team. I'll be honest, I'm not blown away just yet. They've got some good players, don't get me wrong, but I was half expecting a bit more scariness, although this guy is quite good, isn't he? Giroud. I don't know, that's not how you say his name. Like Giroud, I think. Quensa? I really should know this guy's name because he plays for Barcelona, I want to say. Is it Barcelona? It is Barcelona. Never actually seen him play in real life. That might seem mad to say to some, but he looks pretty well-rounded, but he's not quick. And we can abuse that, I feel like, with our team. So, the question is, do I play on attacking against Juventus? And well, last episode, you saw it. We started on defensive against United, and then we went a couple of goals down, went attacking and scored 2. I do feel like we are now getting to a point where we have the quality in our team to really play a positive brand of football and, you know, just play on the front foot, play attacking, play a positive style of play where we try and make our just superior quality show. So that's what I want to do here. If we start getting bullied, if we're struggling to get into a game, I will make the reactive switch quite quickly, you know, to play our more defensive system and our counter-attacking system. But I feel like it's easier to react and go more defensive in a weird way than it is to react and go more attacking. And you can see in the first 26 minutes of this game, we've had almost 70% of possession. We've had not as many chances as I would like for that amount of possession, but the bottom line is we are being pretty dominant so far in this match. Anyway, set piece here. Jarno Leskinen whips it in. It's headed away by Pol. Only as far as Svetsov. Could go back wide or could play it back across. Juventus actually worked the ball quite nicely to get it out. And they've got a lot of players on the breakaway here. Although Soretta, he reads it like a book and then he drops the book. The book has been dropped here. Hatteran is through. Morrigan to the rescue. And A-Up. No nonsense at all. I feel like I'm going to enjoy saying the name A-Up. I really hope he turns into a star right back. As I said, he doesn't really have a gap in his game. He's just really average, but I don't mind really average for a player who's 19. It's better for him to be really average everywhere and improve than have a glaring weakness in his game that we just can never get rid of. But anyway, at half-time it's 0-0, which to be honest wouldn't be the worst result in the world because a 0-0 draw would mean our fate is still entirely in our own hands. If we were to win our last 2 games, we would be guaranteed second in the group. But I feel like this game is there for the taking. Well, Ox whips it in. Svetsov, that is what you love to see. Marlon Ox, a bullet throw. 5 assists for him for the year. Svetsov with his 11th goal in all competitions. It might not be sexy, it might not be pretty, but it's our way of playing football. 2 big, beefy strikers who can jump for the ball. A weapon of a throw from either wing. I mean, why are we being shown offside lines for a throw-in? You can't be offside from a throw-in, Football Manager. Learn the rules. Oh, go on. Have another one, Marlon. Have another one, mate. Look at him go. Launches it. This time to Turnbull, who heads it, and Nubel collects. But we've got our noses ahead, and I don't really have any intentions of going more defensive here. I feel like we've been really, really solid thus far. Although, I don't know, approaching the hour mark, it might be time to get a little bit shouty, especially if we were to concede here. Although, Auger to A up. I will say Auger has been dropped in a few recent games for Markowski. I really like Markowski. I think he's got a really bright future. His heading has gone from 10 to 11, so it looks like less of a weakness now because it's a different colour. Even if that is all psychological, he does look like the long-term solution at centre-back. I talk about Soretta being signed for 200k. Markowski, £26,000. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I am a genius. It's the art of the deal, folks. Anyway, Andy Eric, where are you going, friend? Where are you going, Andy Eric? He hits it. Oh my! I thought it was in. I thought we were about to see an Andy Eric special from centre attack in mid. Unfortunately, just the wrong side of the post. It's now gone, so I feel inevitably pressured to make some subs. Andy Eric hasn't had the best of games, so you know what? We'll bring in Volta, who has been improving a lot in training. Look how good he is. Look, sorry, I don't want to toot my own horn here, or Volta's horn, for any matter. That doesn't sound right, does it? That sounds wrong. But just to toot Volta's horn, I'm going to just commit to it. He's been improving. He's very blooming good. And I don't really have too many reservations about bringing him on for a player like Andy Eric. Andy Eric is not the quickest of playmakers, whereas Volta is rapid. That is like one of his big strengths. Not only is he extremely technical, he's really, really good. He's not got the best finishing or long shots by any means, but he's really good at just charging at defences. And while we could have another goal here if we're not careful, Shvetsov we'll take it. I mean, Andre scored first goal of the season. I think the keeper there is actually anticipating Turnbull to head it, so he kind of reacts to where Turnbull might have headed it. That's the only thing I can explain about this goal. Shvetsov puts in the ball initially. It's cleared away. Andre kind of heads it, and I think, yeah, the keeper has just got caught in two minds. He's thought, is Turnbull going to get there and get a touch? Turnbull has left it, snuck it in. We will make the tactical change. We are 2 goals up away from home against Juventus. If that isn't a sign of progress in 15 years, I don't know what is. That is actually crazy when you think about it. Anyway, the game is not done yet. We took a 2-1 lead against Juventus when we played them at home, and we threw it away and drew 2-2. What can we do here? I mean, I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to concede. Jose Mario with the goal. I criticised his 10 finishing. It's like he overheard me. And wanted to prove a point. Hatteran dribbling down this left-hand side, puts the ball into the box. Who misses their header there? Name and shame. Okay, no, don't name and shame him. It was Soretta. Right, it's 2-1. It's 2-1. We need to be on our best behaviour defensively here. Now, someone's probably screaming, Jack, go defensive. Look, they've scored 1 goal. We're not going to panic and react just yet. What are you doing? It was Ox. He's on a booking as well. He's giving away a penalty. Right, Morrigan. Our Morrigan, who art in heaven. Hallowed be thy goalkeeper. Thy save will come. Thy justice done. We concede a goal. Juventus a 2-2. That didn't work. I don't know why I'm relying on prayer to help us here. That's when things are getting a little desperate. It's 2-2. The worst thing is, I don't really want to change defensive. Even now. I feel like all we need is to just get a little bit shouty. Interestingly enough, our players had quite good body language considering we conceded 2 quite quickly. Ball whipped in. Auger, I mean, okay, Matazovic. Okay. I mean, this game has just burst to life in the second half. I don't really know what to tell you. Leskinen whips it in. Matazovic at the back post. You're half expecting when he scores from a set piece for it to be a header. No. This was just an insane finish with some great technique on his left peg. You love to see it. We're 3-2 up, everyone. I'm gonna get shouty again. Why not? It worked wonders. We've not had a goal in 8 minutes. I'm starting to get a little bit concerned. Could there be one here? A up to Leskinen. Now to Jackie Auger. The ogre. Out to Marlon Ox, who it's going to be difficult to drop even once Rutt is fit. I feel like there is going to be a bit of a battle for the left-back position. Anyway, Marlon Ox, speaking of the devil, can't beat his first man with his cross. Although Cordoba is going into danger and is giving the ball away in an awful spot. And for a second, you thought we were about to extend our lead to 2 there. That was a really good opportunity. They gave the ball away. We almost capitalised on it. Going to make a couple of changes here, I think. Deacon could play. He's wearing protective equipment for a broken arm. I'm going to put him in at left back for Ox. He's so good, by the way, and so close to almost having left wing back as a position that is listed as something that he can play. Maybe by, I don't know, Christmas. That would be the perfect Christmas gift. If anyone's wondering what to get me in the Christmas of 2034, Kevin Deacon to be an actual left wing back. That's what I would like. Anyway, we've got one last sub to make. Turnbull's not been particularly good this game, so I'm going to bring in Steve Norman, our record transfer. It's been weird, right? We signed him for 67 million. Lots of pressure on him to perform. Thought he would come in, interchange, I guess, with Turnbull, and then, we'd work things out. But actually, the way things have gone with Turnbull playing so well, Norman's not got the game time you would expect, although he could have a chance to show us what he's missed it. Shvetsov, get the rebound. Oh, I mean, that's why Turnbull's starting at the moment. Norman is just, he's not in the groove, and Turnbull is in the groove. Leskinen, that was naughty. I like it. Break down the play, don't let them counter. 4 minutes left. I could go defensive. That's not the Towler way. Instead, we just shout at them angrily. Tactical genius, I know. A up to Andre. What can you do? I mean, they're in their own little game, aren't they? Andre, back to A. Look at them go. It's beautiful. It's a little bromance emerging. A up and Andre on the right-hand side. Although we have now given away the ball. And while it might be about to be a bad bromance in the words of Lady Gaga, because they are on the attack. What a block that was. That was Leskinen, I assume. Ball whipped in again, though. We need to deal with it. We've not dealt with it. Morrigan, though, holds onto it. Fall on the ball, Morrigan. Waste as much time as you need to, my friend. What a crazy game. That burst into life in the second half, didn't it? 3-2 it finishes. And like I said before, we had this game played, and we're going into this game. We needed to win this, really, for the group. And that really helped us in this group stage. Our fate is entirely in our own hands. I mean, technically, it still would have been with a draw. But Andre wins man of the match, which is great to see, because I did kind of throw him under the bus before we got into this game, saying he hadn't been good enough. And, well, this is how the group now looks. 4 games played. We have a three-way tie on 7 points. We have Sociedad and Dortmund still to play. And as I mentioned, next episode, I feel like we have to come back for the Dortmund game now, don't we? We have them on the 22nd of November. As I said, tomorrow, triple header. We'll have Liverpool and Arsenal as well to end the month of November. That is going to be very, very tasty. And I'm already a little bit nervous for those big games. Those are not easy games by any means at all. But anyway, guys, that is going to wrap up everything from me today. A great performance in the live com, even if the result wasn't the most convincing. Team is just performing really well. I feel like we've got a well-oiled machine now. Everything is clicking. Even though we have had more injuries than we've experienced in previous years, particularly at fullback, we're adapting really well. And the players that we are throwing in at the deep end, at least right now, are just keeping their heads above water, swimming, and the rest of the team is doing the work all around them, which is all you can really ask for. If you've enjoyed today's episode, please do drop a like on it. I've now got to go to work. I'll leave the video rendering. Hopefully it's up at 12 if I made it. Well done, Jack. You got your assignment in on the deadline. And, well, hopefully it will be the same again tomorrow. I will see you guys then. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.